Happy Wednesday, happy scoping out. I'm so glad that you're here. I have a big story and so many. It really helped me connect a lot of dots. I am working with some SEO experts to help me improve what the functionality of my website and my social media plan and all of that. And in doing so and having these professionals on my team, I've really had to understand that their job is to go in to this website that I've built, that I've blood, sweated, and teared all over, that it's their job to go in and tear it apart. Tell me what's wrong, what's not working, what's missing keywords, how to make it work, right? It's a really scary place when you've put together something that is your baby. And I talked about the book, the Fail to Win book that you can get on Amazon. And the editing process of that was the same, right? You write this book, you have this passion, you share these words, and then you give it to an editor to shred. And it really did bring home to me the very importance of being vulnerable, of being able to take everything that you feel that you have worked hard for, that means something to you, and putting it out into the world to be shredded. And the idea is if you're going to go out there into the world to create anything, this includes yourself, creation of self, development of self. One of the best tools we have out there is criticism. And that's counterintuitive because we have all of these protective mechanisms in place that try really hard to protect us from pain and discomfort and all of these things, right? We feel these defenses go up all the time. Somebody said, well, I don't like that. And you're like, yeah, but I did that because, right? We feel this constant need to defend our decisions and our place in life and where we're at and our grief and our love and the whole 9 yards. When in reality, when we open ourselves up to the possibility that what we have is good and can be made better, then we always have that opportunity to use what comes into our awareness as something helpful, even if it's painful. So I'm talking about this as a content creator, right? My website SEO, my book editing, but I really want you to look at what this means for you personally, because if you look at some of the things that are hardest for us to share and have shredded, they're probably the areas we need the most help. A really great example is I've got a friend and client actually who are financial advisors, and they run into this all the time where they can see how people aren't planning properly for retirement. They can see how they're going to be in trouble without long-term care insurance. They can see all of these pitfalls that they could very easily be protected from, but then people get into their defensive ego space and they don't want to share their finances. You can see where the fact that it is that uncomfortable to share means you actually need help. Another one is addiction, right? I'll start getting help. I really have control over this. I don't really need help. No, this is good. I don't need to talk to a counselor. No, everything's fine. Yeah, if everything was fine, you wouldn't have a problem talking to an addiction counselor, right? Same thing with personal growth. Same thing with relationship counseling. There's so many areas where if we feel even the least bit ashamed, I'll just get this under control. I had a client once who wouldn't go to the gym because she hadn't lost enough weight to go to the gym. And in a weird way, I know there's a lot of people out there going, I kind of get that, because I don't want to be among a bunch of skinny minis and the one big like chubbo that's trying to huff and puff her way through an elliptical session or whatever. Like there's that right there resonates with a lot of people. I'll go when I lose weight. Well, what if what you need to lose weight is a gym? And some accountability with some friendships at a gym and some motivation and goals when you can see people. There's this guy at my gym. He does this thing. It's amazing. He hangs by these bars overhead, upside, like parallel to the ground. His back is parallel to the ground. It's insane. And then he takes his legs and can a body do that? It can. And that's astounding. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that, but the hope and the dream that my body someday would, that's motivation to me. And I would never know that or see that in real life other than like a Cirque du Soleil show and his guys at my gym doing this stuff almost every day. That's pretty great. So you can see with this just as a slight understanding of if it makes me scared, if I feel vulnerable, if it makes me feel a little bit raw inside to go out and push myself in this way, that might be the indication that it's something I need. It might be the reason I reach out and go make myself vulnerable to that thing that's gonna shred my hard work, make me feel bad, so that I can feel better, right? That really is the ultimate goal, because when we can really own our shit and look in the mirror and look at the hard stuff and say, yep, that's a part of my belief system. Yep, that's in me. Oh yeah, I did that. Then we can address it. Then we have choices. Yes! Oh my gosh, you're exactly right. What we resist persists. So the more we're resisting against that financial awareness in the case of the financial advisors, or the more we resist, being in spandex at a gym, the more we're hiding in our food, or at least in our non-movement, in our sedentary lives, or whatever it is that we are pushing against, we're actually creating more of. And that's it. I mean, that's our lives, right? That is the benefit of things that push against us, so that we get a choice, so that we can choose to show up to it, that all of our obstacles and our uncomfortableness can actually serve our greater good if we embrace it with the mindset that it is there to help, that it is there to improve us. We live in a day and age right now where we have so many opportunities to forgive. So many opportunities to forgive. So what do you think we as a collective need to work on? What's your guess? When everybody out there is pushing your buttons and triggering you and making you, making all these stories show up about you're everyone is this and everyone is that, right? The whole reason that is coming into our awareness is that it's work we need to do. And if we're not working on, let that go, forgive, let it go. If we're not actually doing that work, then the next time it shows up, it's going to trigger us bigger. And the next time it shows up, it's going to be even bigger. And we have a choice. We can add all of that, what looks like assholiness in other people, right? We can add that to a pile of proof that says everybody's an asshole. Well, guess what? If you're showing up to the world as though everybody's an asshole, guess who's being the asshole? Yeah, you get it, right? But if you're showing up to the world going, everybody is hurt, confused, injured, afraid, everybody has this forgiveness practice, and it feels uncomfortable, and it's making them go, I don't want to, and I have to defend myself, right? Yay, I'm glad this is hitting home. If everybody is out there with that, then everyone is vulnerable. And if we come to the world treating everyone else, vulnerably, in ourselves and of them, then we're not only are we not being an asshole, but we are contributing something that is pure and forgiving and light, something that they can respond to differently if they choose to, right? I talk about choice like it's easy. A lot of this is default. Remember, in a lot of these other scopes, we've talked about negativity bias. But I do want you to start seeing it as a choice. The more present you are to your life, the more present you are to those things that push your buttons and make you go, ooh, I don't want to talk about it. The more present you are to that, the more you have a choice, the more you're off of that default, and you can choose how you show up. Now, in the case of my SEO, I was like, yay, come shred my website. Come tell me how to make it better. I had a first meeting yesterday. It was fantastic. It's actually doing a lot better than I thought it was, which was really great confirmation for me that my hard work is paying off. That it actually has bolstered me. That is actually pushing me forward and inspiring me to do better, because I could be vulnerable to that process. So I want you to really consider where it is you're putting up your defenses, where you've got your armor on and you're out to fight the world and defend yourself, and see in just the tiniest ways where could you soften that. Maybe you don't feel comfortable going to the gym yet. That's fine. But maybe you do ask a friend to be an accountability partner, right? Maybe you don't feel comfortable talking to a financial advisor just yet. That's fine, but where could you soften that up? Maybe you really do get out all of your credit card statements, your bank statements. You make yourself a little vulnerable to yourself first, but you face it, right? Because, as Colleen pointed out, what we resist persists. We don't want to keep pushing against that thing we don't want, because it is not only going to show up out here, it starts to show up in here. And that is what we don't want. All right, so your homework and mine is to stay vulnerable, stay open, face this world of ours that is giving us so much opportunity to forgive. Face this world with forgiveness and open-heartedness. This, my lovelies, your first chance to practice forgiveness with me is the last scope of 2017. I'll be taking December off to work on my website and refocus some other things so that 2018 can start off super strong and super available to everyone out there who wants to continue to work with me in any capacity. So our collective experience now is all going to be online. The blog, the YouTube channel, comments, the newsletter, however you want to interact with me. Let's stay in touch. And in 2018, we'll start scoping again. Stay vulnerable, my lovelies. You got this. It's really not that bad.